Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. The two most in-form heavyweights, bar Alexander Usyk, are Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce. And Dubois now holds the IBF belt, so he is a world titleist, although the real champion, of course, is Usyk. And they are due to fight February the 22nd. Joseph Parker is coming off 4 wins, most notably Deontay Wilder, who he outpointed, and then he won, was it a split decision or a majority decision against Zhilei Zhang? Came off the floor twice to win. Very, very good form, but he has been a little bit inactive lately, Joe has. Dubois, probably even more impressive. Last 3 wins are, eye-opening. Quit against Usyk. Then answered a lot of questions in terms of his heart against the perennial drug cheat, Mr. Miller, Big Pharma Miller. And then, surprisingly, I thought it was a surprising win anyway, beat the previously undefeated Filip Hrgović and didn't half take some wallops as well. And Hrgović has got a fantastic chin. Hrgović took some immense right hands from Dubois and didn't go anywhere. But people forget he was landing with the right hand against Dubois, and Dubois, seemed to have been almost reborn in terms of confidence. And eventually, he was free and easy with the head, and it was a bit of a dirty fight. But, he got the job done. They're not playing ping pong in there, are they? And then, of course, we know what happened against Anthony Joshua. He absolutely smashed right through Joshua, obliterated him in 5 rounds. So we now have the pairing, which is only a month away. A month away roughly. What a great matchup! And they had it's only about 7 minutes. So I'm not sure if it's the whole thing, the whole interview, the face-off, the head-to-head, whatever they call it. Where they sit around the table. They also had Frank Warren was there as well to support Daniel Dubois. Andy Lee, who trains Joseph Parker, was there. And it's always a bit difficult to sort of take anything solid from these little tete-a-tetes. But at the same time, it's always kind of curious to watch. I mean, Dubois since he's since the Usyk defeat, it's almost like that woke him up. He thought, okay, I've got to start being a bit more exuberant. I've got to start, mouthing off a bit more, because he wouldn't say boot to a goose when he first turned professional, which was, I don't know, was he 19 when he turned pro, 18, 19? He's now 27. But now he's telling everyone he's going to smash him up. But here's the curious thing as well. Parker had a real edge to him, and he wasn't taking any crap off Dubois. And in fact, Andy Lee made some pointed remarks about Dubois being knocked out by a jab. I mean, he wasn't really knocked out; he quit, didn't he? And also pointed out that he being Dubois, will revert to type if he's put under duress. And of course, Parker was there. Both Lee and Parker were saying that Parker is a highly intelligent fighter, which I think he is. He's now settled into that bigger weight. There's a lot more bulk on the man. He's always hit, pretty decently. Now, I have to say, when these two were first put together, I thought my initial reaction, my gut reaction was, I think Dubois got this. I think he'll probably knock Parker out and I haven't necessarily changed my opinion on this particular point. I think Parker has looked a little bit brittle, punch resistance wise. Now, I know what people are going to say. Oh, well, he was on the floor twice with Zhang, and Zhang's a very heavy hitter. Look what he did to Joyce, who knocked out Parker. Yeah, I get that. I do get that, and I'm a big fan of Parker. But I just think with the Joyce knockout, he said he went into that fight sick, and he took a beating as well. He took a real beat. I mean, Joyce was looking to wallop him out of there in 1, 2, 3 rounds. And credit to Joseph for hanging into the 11th, but it was a bad knockout, which makes his comeback all the more impressive. But at the same time, it puts miles on the clock. And then, okay, Wilder, one of the most bizarre performances I've ever seen. He didn't do anything against Joe Parker. But then Zhang's a big old lump, isn't he? I mean, the size of his head, like a bloody armchair. But he hits very, very hard. And yes, Joseph Parker was able to sort of give him the angles, and he came off the floor twice. But when he's clipped, he tends to go over or he tends to shake. And every time Zhang was touching him, I could see Parker, shuddering a little bit. So I was thinking initially, Dubois, with the confidence he has, with the offence he has, I mean, he thinks he's a rebirth of Sonny Liston at the moment, doesn't he? And he looks like it to some extent. But I was thinking, I don't fancy Joe's chances. But of course, if he gets out of the early rounds, he's got a very, very good chance of putting into place the game plan, which is to, defuse the bomb, neutralise the power, and then essentially do what Usyk did, which is befuddle and bewilder Dubois and force him into a place where he's just not comfortable. And because Dubois, if he is, as a lot of people say, if he is on the spectrum, to put it politely, the one thing that people who are on the spectrum like is structure, and they like everything set in stone and everything is black and white. And now that can be an advantage because you can quit against a fighter, you can get knocked out, and it doesn't bother you because you think, okay, that happened, but you get back to your default setting, which is very sort of extremely tunnel visioned. It's not like you won't second guess yourself. I mean, Daniel Dubois, psychologically, his psyche, it's the polar opposite of someone like Anthony Joshua. Polar opposite. Joshua overthinks and thinks too much and second guesses himself and so on. Dubois don't do any of that. But at the same time, it can be a negative because you can, if you are knocked off script, so to speak, you end up thinking, oh, what do I do next? Where am I? This isn't the way it's supposed to go. I don't understand. And you kind of internally, your mind sort of unravels and you panic a bit. I think that's really what happened to Dubois against Usyk, and Parker has to do something similar. Now, I'm going to hold off from making a prediction on this fight, but I will say this: watching Parker in that face-to-face thing, yeah, it can be deceptive. You can't really take too much solid from those sort of little chit-chats. But I was thinking, he's got the eye of the tiger. He's got his eyes on the prize, Parker. And my difference of opinion, or my confidence in thinking that Dubois is going to maul Parker, has somewhat narrowed. But I'll hold off making a prediction. Obviously, I'll wait because you never know. There's a month to go, and anything can happen in a month. The fight could be cancelled, so I'm not going to do a prediction video now and wait till a few days before the fight, like I normally do. But go and have a look at this thing. It's on YouTube, and tell me what you think. Leave your comments below. I'll be interested to hear your take on it. Am I reading too much into it? Perhaps I am. You give me your opinion, or if you saw something that I haven't mentioned, by all means, just leave it below in the comments. I like reading what you got to say. Makes me think. So yes, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please, if you're new to the channel, you could subscribe. That'd be fantastic. And hit the like button as well, because we want to build the channel up. It's your channel as much as mine. I didn't start this channel for an echo chamber. I started it to sort of get your opinion and have a little bit of interaction with fellow boxing fans, because that's really all I am, is a big fan. All right. Thank you very much. Looking forward to reading what you've got to say, and bye for now.